I'm Tina Maralit with my colleague, Mr. Arlie Calado, and this is the continuing special coverage of the Manila Times for the coming May elections kung saan nakafocus po kami sa mayoral events of Metro Manila. And for today, we are very fortunate to have with us ang reelectionist mayor po ng Quezon City, Mayor Joy Belmonte. Hi, ma'am!
Hi, Tina! Hi, Arlie! At isang magandang araw po sa lahat ng mga nakikinig at nanonood sa atin.
So, ma'am, thank you for taking time out to be with us. Alam namin sobrang busy ka, but still, pinaglaanan mo kami ng kaunting panahon.
Oh, it is my honor and my pleasure.
So, kamusta naman po kayo, ma'am? Home stretch na po ng campaign. How are you? How are things going on the ground?
Things are going well. The people are very receptive and very welcoming. And tuloy-tuloy lang ang ating pananampanya sa ating pong mga barangay. And at the moment, ako po ay abala sa house to house dahil tingin ko yan ang pinaka-epektibong paraan para mangampanya at makita ka ng mga tao. No? And apart from that, we also have caucuses para maipaalam sa ating mga mamamayan yung ating mga plataforma at mga nagawa na.
So, Arlie?
Anyway, thanks first for this amazing, wonderful time with you. No? So, what really motivated you to seek for re-election?
Siguro, Arlie, lahat naman ng mga first-termers gusto pa rin magkaroon ng second term kasi kulang at bitin ang first term. No? Lalong-lalo na't minana ko ang pamahalaan na iba yung anyo niya na sa gusto ko sana sa isang pamahalaan. I would like to concentrate on good governance. I'm a reform-oriented, I would say, public servant. No? At marami ako nakita doon sa pamamalakad ng pamahalaan, minana ko na pwede sanang baguhin para mas maging epektibo ang ating pagbibigay ng servisyo sa ating mga mamamayan. So in the first year, we concentrated on learning the ropes. So may learning curve pa yan, syempre, no? Tapos nagka-pandemya, so medyo nabitin tayo sa ating mga gusto sanang magawa para sa ating mga mamamayan. Although I believe we were very effective in our pandemic response. But we had very little time to do the things we really wanted to do, no? So having said that, tingin ko marami na rin tayo na-accomplish in those 3 years. Among them is in the area of governance, nilagay natin online ang napakarami sa ating mga services. No? And in that area, in that regard, nabawasan ang tinatawag nating red tape, nabawasan din ang corruption, at naging mas convenient ang pagtatransact ng mga business owners at mga real property owners sa ating pamahalaan. They are able to pay and renew without having to leave their homes. No? So that's one of, I think, the victories that we had in the area of governance. No? At as I said, when you focus on governance, gusto mo sana na you would like to improve the way money is spent.
Yes.
More prudently. For example, gusto nyo lahat ng ang bawat peso, ang bawat ang pondo ng bayan, halimbawa ay ginagamit mo sa mga wastong mga proyekto, yung mga kinakailangan talaga ng mga tao. So in other words, when you talk about good governance, it's about spending the money of the government properly, prudently, effectively, conveniently, para you make the most of every peso. And in order to do that, you have to have systems in place to make sure that this objective is met. And we've started with changing the systems in our city government in terms of spending the money, planning for its allocation, planning for the different programs and projects, etc. We started already with the good governance procedures. No? At kulang ang 3 taon para ipagpatuloy ito. For me kasi, marami ako projects and programs na gustong isakatuparan. Pero lahat yan ay nakaangkla o nakaugat sa maayos, masinop, malinis at tapat at I would say mapagmalasakit na pangangasiwa ng pananalapi ng ating panglunsod. And if you manage the funds properly, marami kang magagawang mga serbisyo para sa iba't ibang sektor. Kaya, kaakibat ng ating good governance agenda is not just managing the funds properly, but also generating people participation. So ang aking pong gusto ay yung mga programa sana magmula sa iba't ibang sektor mismo. Kaya I am very big on the consultative process. Kailangan makonsulta yung mga iba't ibang sektor, kababaihan, solo parents, senior citizens, kabataan, mga guro, mga toda, mga LGBTQIA, sila mismo dapat ang bumubuo ng kanilang agenda kasi sila nakakaalam kung ano yung kailangan nila. Para pag ginastos na natin yung pondo ng lungsod, ay alam natin na pupunta sa tama at wastong mga programa na talaga may epekto sa mga buhay nila.
Because to the government finances and good governance, I think it has something to do with the unqualified opinion the city government got from the Department of Budget Management.
Commission on
Audit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So, and is this the person who lives in this history?
Yeah,
So, can you expound more on this?
Yeah, so I'm so happy because my agenda of governance really is nakaangkla talaga sa good governance. No? So, pag upo ko pa lang, yan ang una ko executive order. Executive order number 1 was to create an internal audit service para siguraduhin yung internal controls ay maayos, may maayos na paper trail palagi, may accountability ang bawat tao, tanggapan. You can easily see where the money goes, how it is spent, etc. No? Hindi siya sloppy kundi maayos. Matitrace mo kaagad ang bawat transaction, ang bawat papeles, ang bawat programa, etc. At inayos natin yan. At dahil dyan, on my first year as mayor, nakatanggap na po tayo ng clean or unqualified opinion mula sa Commission on Audit. And it is the first time in the history of Quezon City. No? And that was something that I was very proud of because it is a testament to the fact that we are doing the right thing. No? And for me, it is so important that the people trust their government. I always say that. Trust is the most important ingredient of every relationship. May it be a husband and wife or people and their leader.
Yes.
And when you say and you show the people, uy, meron na akong aalay sa inyong clean opinion, pwede nyo kaming pagkatiwalaan kasi alam ninyo na inaalagaan namin yung pananalapi ng lungsod natin at ito ay pinagkatiwala lang ninyo sa amin at ibabalik namin ang bawat piso sa inyo.
And I think fair to say that also translates to the people, your constituents, kumbaga, they police their ranks sa parang, uy, ayaw natin mapapahiya yung lungsod natin. So, on their own, from their own ranks, diba? Sila may kusa na maayos din yung ano nila, di ba, pamumuhay. Kasi syempre nga, if they trust their government, diba?
I believe in leadership by example. So kung ako, halimbawa, ako talagang masinop sa paggamit ng pondo ng bayan, I really check. I'm a hands-on mayor. Tapos on time pa ako pumapasok. Tapos I'm a workaholic. I work until 9 every day.
We know that.
I come to work exactly 8 or 9
Last one out.
We know that.
So, you know, at some point, yung mga iba't ibang nagtatrabaho sa pamahalaan, ay nagagaya rin nila yung kanilang leader. Kasi the leader really sets the tone and the pace of how the rest of the bureaucracy should be working. No, at nag-work naman siya. Nakikita natin yung output mula sa ating mga department heads, nag-level up silang lahat.
So, ma'am, sa pag-iikot-ikot yung sabi nyo nga, nag-house to house kayo, ano yung pinaka-common na sinasabi ng mga botante, ng mga residente ng QCC na gusto pa nilang ma-address ng local government? Ano yung talagang most pressing matter that they would want you to take care of once you get your second term?
Well, based on what I've seen also, definitely we really have to recover from the effects of the pandemic. So, yan talaga. And napakaswerte natin rin because we could see kasi lagi tayong in touch sa tao. So, nung simula pa lang, kahit hindi pa nag-election, nakita ko na people need to recover. So, nagkaroon ako ng programa. Ang tawag dito ay Pangkabuhayan Quezon City. No, kung saan namimigay tayo ng up to 20,000 pesos na puhunan sa mga nawala ng trabaho o kaya gusto magsimula ng negosyo o kaya OFW na nauwi o kaya solo parent na may mga alagang anak or kung sino man, basta may magandang idea, nagbibigay tayo. That was very effective kasi pagbaba ko on the ground, yun ang number 1 na pinasasalamatan ng mga tao. Maraming salamat sa pangkabuhayan na binigay. So, gusto pa natin itong ipagpatuloy. No? Ang isa naman na hindi ko pa nagagawa, pero kailangan gawin at i-address, itong issue ng Social Pension Fund ng mga senior citizens. Programa kasi ito ng DSWD actually, no? At ang role ng city dito ay magrekomenda lang ng mga senior citizens na pumapasok sa criteria na binigay sa atin ng DSWD. Pero every time I go down to the ground, hinahanap sa akin ng mga seniors, nasa na ang social pension fund ko. So nakita ko na this is really important. And the DSWD somehow is not addressing this need of the elderly. So again, dahil masinop naman tayo gumamit ng ating pondo, we have funds, no? In fact, I would like to interject na sa lahat ng mga lungsod, panahon ng pandemya, nag-decrease ang kanilang koleksyon. Pero tayo, tumaas ang ating koleksyon. This is surprising, no, considering that we were in a pandemic situation. But that is, again, a testament of what good governance can do, diba? So, because we have funds, I already told the seniors na kaya natin magbuo ng sarili nating social pension fund. We will call it something else para hindi ma-confuse. We will call it the Social Welfare Assistance Program. Pero yan din ang layunin para tulungan ang ating mga seniors na halimbawa walang SSS, walang GSIS, mga balok, pero walang namana sa kanilang mga namatay na asawa, yung mga nangangailangan, no? So kasama sila din. Meron pang...
So all the funds will come from the city government?
Yeah, the funds na lang will come from the city government. And then, we identified when I went to the ground, ang daming PWDs, okay, na nangangailangan din ng tulong. So we included them in the anong tawag ko doon? Social Welfare Assistance Program. So kasama rin ang mga PWDs, no? Lalong-lalo na yung mga hindi talaga makakapaghanap buhay. O kaya yung mga may anak na PWD, tapos yung anak nila na PWD is may cerebral palsy, o yung mga may sakit na mental disability or physical disability na talagang kailangan gastusan ng magulang para mabuhay yung kanilang anak. No? So kasama sila.
Will you be needing a measure an ordinance or for the purpose, or let's say an executive order for the purpose?
It's up, and actually, Arlie, kaya ako happy because the ordinance has been passed and signed. It's just that I cannot implement it because we're still in the middle of the election. But as soon as the election is finished, we will be implementing. Yeah, this particular program. At hindi lang yun, So PWD senior, pati mga solo parents that are desperately in need, sinama na rin natin sa ating pong program na ito. So that's one. And then a second program that we will be implementing after elections na ordinansa na rin, ito ay ang tinatawag natin Alagang QC program. And I got this idea from abroad kasi alam mo sa States, di ba, pag nawalan ka ng trabaho, may matatanggap ka para sa unemployment benefits from the government para pantawid ba habang naghahanap ka ng bagong trabaho. So meron na rin tayong ganito, and lahat ng siguro na endo o kaya natanggal sa trabaho dahil sa pandemya, nag-downscale yung kanilang mga pinagtatrabahuhan, they can receive 500 pesos a week, up to 2 months or up to 8 weeks, no? Habang naghahanap sila ng panibagong trabaho. It's not much, pero at least pantulong, pambili ng bigas para sa inyong pamilya. So we will have that as well. The ordinance has been signed. It will be implemented.
Hindi pala talaga natutulog si
Mayor.
Mayor.
No, most of your time, your first time was eaten by this pandemic, ano? So, question, were you able to carry out all yung political agenda mo?
Yeah, you know, most of it, yes, pa rin. Which is surprising because we spent about 18 billion pesos on the pandemic response, and obviously this is not budgeted for. We had to look for sources where we could get this money from, no? And that's where, again, good governance came in because tinignan namin yung mga proyektong naiwan sa amin ng dating administrasyon. At ang dami doon na hindi naman siya urgent, o kaya naman pinabayaan na, inabandona na ng mga kontratista for some reason, I don't know, no? So, itong mga ito, when we calculated how much kung i-terminate natin itong mga proyektong ito, umabot din sa ilang hundreds of millions eh. So, isa yan sa mga pinagmulan ng pandemic response fund natin, no? And marami pang iba na we had to cut down on infra, hindi muna tayo nag-infra kasi pandemic muna. So, pero okay lang yun kasi una talaga dapat ang kapakanan ng taong bayan, yung buhay, mas mahalaga kaysa sa kalsada, dahil hindi man nila magagamit yung kalsada, hindi man sila lumalabas ng bahay, o kaya magagarang mga gusali, no? So, naging okay naman din ang pandemic response natin. But in addition to that, that's why I'm quite proud na kapagbigay tayo ng tablet sa ating mga students. At proud din ako, I always tell the students, because our tablets, hindi lang pangkaraniwang tablet. Kasi naging masinop tayo at mabusisi sa terms of reference. I wanted the best quality for our public school kids. So yung nanalo ng bid was even Samsung.
Wow.
No? So they got the best quality. So because of that, hindi siya sira kaagad. Dahil hindi siya sira kaagad, you can now buy every year, madadagdagan yung grade levels na makakatanggap ng tablets. And by this year, lahat ng mga school children natin makakakuha na kasi buhay pa yung kanilang tablets nung una, tapos hindi sira, so we don't have to purchase new ones, and then we just have to purchase for the additional year. So now, grade 1 to high school, by this year, magkakaroon sila lahat ng tablet. Tapos dahil may funds tayo, maayos pa rin tayo gumamit, humingi ng parents, sabi nila, pwede ba sa amin na hindi yung pahiram? So sabi ko, sige, dapat incentive siya. So kung grade 6, nakagraduate yung bata, kanya na yung tablet niya. Kung nakagraduate siya ng grade 10 or junior high school, kanya na rin yung tablet niya. Tapos kung nakagraduate siya ng senior high school, kanya na rin yung tablet niya. No? So it incentivizes the child. Pero kung nag-drop out yung anak nyo, ibabalik niyo sa amin yung tablet. Yun. So, we were able to do that. Not just that, yung mga teachers may mga laptops, tapos yung internet connectivity, we provided that as well sa mga daycare, at saka early childhood, yun yung mga 3 years old, 4 years old, we were able to buy storybooks for them, kinder, ganun din. So, lahat ng mga grade levels, nagkaroon sila ng gadgets or ng tools for learning, no? Tapos, yung ating Quezon City University, for the first time, after all these years, na-accredit na siya ng CHED.
Wow.
So, ang ibig sabihin nun, lahat ng mga mag-aaral sa ating pamantasan, libre na ang kanilang matrikula because of the national government law, di ba? So, kasama yan, no? So, we were able to do well in education.
So with that, are you expecting na lalaki pa yung dami ng increase ng estudyante?
Yes, so actually, when accredit siya, 8,000 yung students, ngayon 10,000 na. In a span of about a year, di ba? Sa pabahay, marami na rin tayong nabiling lupa na kinatitirikan ng mga bahay na informal centers for years and decades, pero iba yung may-ari, private sector, kaya hindi na pupunta sa kanila yung titulo. We negotiated with the private owners and we purchased the property from the private owners. So the people can now purchase the land from the government at flexible rates, no? Yung abot kaya sa kanila. So I have kasi a policy, no demolition kung there's no relocation. So we also have a very robust housing project now. No? So merong rental housing tayong pinapagawa kasi may mga tao hindi talaga sila maka-afford ng socialized housing kasi may down yan eh. Yung mga vendor, yung mga arawan, di naman nila ma-afford. So we have a new scheme for gagawa kami ng pabahay, parang condominium, pero ang renta niyan 800 pesos a month lang. Ang layunin para makapag-ipon sila, siguro after a few years, meron na silang sapat na pondo para naman makapag-down sa isang socialized housing unit. No? So, we have thought about the needs of all social classes. Dati kasi isang scheme lang, yung tinatawag, yung pinangalan dun sa dati nating mayor. Pero isang scheme lang siya. Yung may down ka ng 20,000, tapos kung hindi ma-afford yan, ma-relocate ka sa probinsya. Pero parang feeling ko, everybody has the right to live in the city where they were born, they grew up, whether you're rich or you're poor. Dapat yung government ang maghahanap ng paraan para pwede kang tumira sa city na kinagisnan mo. That's why we thought of all of these other schemes. No?
Pero bukod po sa mga ayuda, no? So do you have a program in place na para ba maging self-sustain yung mga residente kaysa yung lagi silang they're always depending on the ayuda.
Yeah, well, I mentioned na ngayon.
Program.
I mentioned yung pagkabuhayan QC, yeah, that one. And then, we also work very, very closely now with our business sector. No, very close ang aming relationship para yung mga courses ng aming Quezon City University ay maging akma dun sa pangangailangan ng industries.
And for their employment, locally
Yes.
na lang dito na hindi na
Oo.
sila lalabas ng Quezon City.
Yes, so they help us make the curriculum. So kasama yan sa plan natin. Kasi ang slogan ng aming university is to be the top university for employable graduates. So employment ang pinakamahalaga dito. So yun yung long term, short term naman is yung pangkabuhayan na sinasabi ko. And we also have a new project, it's called Startup. It's a startup program. So hindi naman to para sa mga informal settlers, no? Or sa mga, ito naman medyo for the, may yung mga nag-graduate, meron magagandang idea, brilliant idea for a business. Kumbaga, the local Facebook or the local Grab or the local Uber, pero wala siyang puhunan. Hinahanap namin itong mga talents na ito, and then the city will give startup capital as well for them. So it's a startup program for talented young people who would like to be innovate, no, have something innovative to offer, pero wala nang silang needs. So we're also having that program.
Ayun, you really, we know for a fact you really hate the corruption. That's why I know you've been pushing this good governance.
Good governance and transparency.
Yeah, that's it, no? You really hate
Yes,
corruption.
I hate corruption. I do, because I have first-hand experience when I was a Jesuit volunteer. After college, I joined a volunteer program in a province. No? I was assigned to a 5th class municipality. And the children there were children of farmers, so my students were children of farmers. And one problem that they had, that's why they were always poor, is there were no farm-to-market roads. Para yung ani nila madala sa palengke, which is in a town, no? Kasi municipality lang sila. So my mother was also a journalist, alam mo naman yung words. And I asked her, bakit ganyan, bakit wala pang farm-to-market roads, ang hirap-hirap ng buhay ng mga tao. Tapos ayon sa mga tala ng DPWH, meron na. Okay, so parang ang pagkabasa ko dito, sandali lang, parang
Sa papel meron.
sa papel meron, pero in real life wala.
Yes.
And when you're on the ground and you see that this is what corruption does, it keeps people poor and it keeps lives from improving, and nasasakripisyo yung kinabukasan na napakaraming mga kabataan. I feel that corruption is really the main problem in this country and in many countries that is keeping us back. And when I had a conversation with one of our senators, he mentioned to me that as per his knowledge, so I'm quoting him, about 700 billion pesos is lost to corruption on an annual basis. No, and when you think about it, he told me that's about 20%, I think, of the budget. So if that 20% just went to projects and programs for the people, meron naman tayong pondo para itaas at iangat ang antas ng kabuhayan ng mga tao eh. So at least for me, just as a mayor, hindi ko kaya yung national, pero at least as a mayor in my own backyard, I can make a difference. So kahit na small difference, hopefully, magkakaroon ng positive effect sa buhay ng mga taga Quezon City.
What are your steps
to curb corruption?
Yeah.
So like I mentioned, like I said, was putting everything online. Oo, yan nakatulong talaga yan, ha? Kasi yung mga fixers na wala ng panggabuhay or ng racket.
Wala na sila inaabangan.
Pero hindi pa complete online po, no?
Almost complete. Ang kulang na lang ata is you cannot pay. I'm not sure if it's business permits ba? Ang online, not social permit.
Meron naman. Meron tayo yung through online na rin.
Pwede na rin?
etc.
So parang, I think lahat
Konti
na...
na naman. Konti na lang.
Konti na lang yung human intervention.
Yeah, kasi dati, what we were trying to do is everything related to business should be online. Kasi nandiyan yung corruption, diba?
Yes.
So, payment of real property taxes, renewal of business permits, or application of business permits.
Everything's online.
That's all online. Pero inisip ko, sandali, bakit yan sila lang ang maginhawang buhay? Dapat pati yung pangkaraniwang mamamayan, pwede na rin siyang mag-online, di ba? So ngayon, yung birth certificate mo, pwede mo na siyang i-apply for online. Pati yung pangkabuhayan QC program, pwede rin i-apply online. Pati yung mga yung scholarship program ko, we have about 20,000 scholarships that are given to our senior high school, college, and master's applicants. Pwede kayong mag-apply
Even the
online.
QCID, meron, di ba? Hindi na kailangan na,
Yeah, online din. So even social services
Yes,
must be made
online.
available online. So yan yung isa sa paraan para ma-curb natin yung corruption. And of course, tingin ko yung ginawa rin namin, yung tinaas namin yung incentives for our employees. Nalaman ko, halimbawa mga empleyado sa pamahalaan, surprisingly, hindi nakakatanggap ng minimum wage. So ginawa natin, at least minimum wage ang natatanggap ng bawat empleyado sa ating lungsod, whether a job order or whether contractual, minimum wage pa rin. And then nakakatanggap lahat ng health insurance. No, maliban sa PhilHealth, meron kaming partnership with Coco Life, worth about 100,000. So lahat, job order, contractual plantilla, you have health insurance, no? So may benefits ka in addition, no? And tapos ngayon yung promotion, dati ang kalakaran, sa end ng term lang ng mayor, nagkakaroon ng personnel selection board or promotion. Tapos ang pinapasok pa, yung mga tauhan ni mayor, na wala naman talagang sapat na credentials, no? So what we're trying to do is limit or take away yung palakasan system, adopting yung merit-based system ng Singapore, no, kung saan halos buwan-buwan meron tayong personal selection board or promotions para may ano naman, yung mga tao naman, inganyo sila magtrabaho, may incentive magtrabaho kasi may chance silang mag-promote. Sabi ko sa kanila, kung may baon kang letter na nag-i-endorse sa inyo, out kayo. Kasi dapat walang palakasan dito. Dapat credential-based.
Walang politika.
Oo, walang politika.
You don't mind if she or he was used to be the supporter of the former mayor like that. Sa'yo, wala.
Wala.
Performance-based talaga.
Performance-based talaga. Because at the end of the day, kaya nagkakaroon ng politics sa City Hall is also because pinapairal ni Mayor yung ganun eh.
Yeah.
As supporter ka ng kalaban ko, ay, jump ka lang, never kita
So, sa'yo, walang
ipapromote.
ganun.
Lahat
Ay, the
supporters
supporter ko, ito yung
ipapromote ko na.
Oo.
So, syempre, forever na magkakaroon ng hidwaan.
Yes.
Diba? But if you're fair,
Nilis mo na yung mga
Divisiveness.
ganun.
oh,
Yes.
if you take that away, people will just work. People are not really politically, they'll just work. So, yeah, these are some of our steps.
Tsaka mayor, kasi pag gano'n, di ba, pag may divisiveness, yung mga proyekto na gusto mong implement, hindi mo rin, I mean, it will not come to fruition. Kasi kung nagagalaw kasi, hindi naman kami, ni mayor, hindi naman kami country ni mayor, di yung mga kakampi nila yung bahalang gano'n.
Pero there's no doubt naman yung dun sa yung you have managed your COVID-19 response well, di ba? Siguro, maybe nakita ko parang malaking tulong dun. Ito ba yung initiative ng mga over 100 doctors, volunteer of doctors yung through yung Bantay COVID program?
Yes.
Do you have any message for them? Kasi actually, I had the chance to be invited for a dinner. Ano yung treatment sa kanila? But it's your own way of taking them, no? So I was able to talk with them and I was so amazing talagang yung volunteerism nila na andun. So do you have any message for them? That's led by Dr.
Loisa Orense, of Bantay
So,
COVID.
do you have message for them?
Yes, of course, because Dr. Loisa came to me and she had this fantastic system, a software, etc., wherein you enroll a patient into the Bantay COVID program. Tapos may mga volunteer doctors na i-check lang sila, kumusta ka na, how are you feeling. And, di ba, isa sa mga problems kasi ng pagka-COVID mo is nakakulong ko ng 2 linggo.
Yes.
So, may mental health effect
Yes.
yan. So, that not only makes you feel like may nagbabantay sa'yo, may nag-aalaga sa'yo, pero yung isolation nawawala kasi may lagi kang kausap at nangangumusta sa'yo. And there are hundreds of volunteers in the Bantay COVID program of Doc Loisa. So I would like to thank them. I'm very grateful for their sacrifice. No? Ang daming nagsakripisyo ng panahon ng pandemya at sila ay isa sa mga yon, yung grupo nila. Pero we also had a lot of volunteer vaccinators. So our COVID response became successful because of the unity of all stakeholders. No? And I just want to say that, no, na government will not be successful without the stakeholders, and that is why government's role is always to be trustworthy, so that the stakeholders will want to work with government, because nobody wants to work with a government they cannot trust, di ba? So, yan, ang daming tumulong, ang daming na hindi man lang namin tinatawagan, sila yung tumatawag na gusto nilang tumulong, no? In all aspects of the COVID response, giving us food, donating equipment, mamahaling mga equipment, PPEs even, oxygen tanks, you name it, may nag-donate sa amin.
So, it all boils down then, again, Mayor, this is sinasabi niyo nga, leadership by example.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I
diba?
believe so, yeah.
So, Mayor, nabanggit na natin kanina yung tungkol sa employment, yung governance, and yung mga ibang social services for the residents of Quezon City. Related pa rin po sa post-pandemic response ng lungsod. Siyempre, problema din dyan yung pagkain, diba? Yun ang naging malaking problema during the pandemic. Sa Quezon City, I heard, Mayor, you have this program for urban farming for the sustainability ng city. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, actually, since I was the vice mayor, I already had an advocacy called the Joy of Urban Farming, no? Because I really believed, based on what I had read in Cuba, familiar kasi sa Cuba, nagkaroon ng economic sanctions, di ba? So wala silang pagkain pumapasok. Inutusan sila ng kanilang Pangulo na magtanim. So they were able to sustain themselves, no? And I like that model, although it's a communist country, but that model na we can be self-sustaining. No? So, one thing that I noticed during the pandemic was that ang dami-dami natin in-order na canned food. Kasi yan yung ayudang binibigay natin sa mga tao. So, during the pandemic, we started also a program called Grow QC, which is just an extension of the Joy of Urban Farming. No? Pero dati kasi, hindi nakita ng mga tao ang kahalagahan ng pagsasaka or pagtatanim ng gulay sa urbanidad. They didn't really see that, no? Pero nung nag-level up kami sa urban agriculture, nakita nila, uy, importante pala talaga yan. Kasi ngayon ay nakakuha tayo ng healthy food, at na hindi tayo umaasa sa darating galing sa lalawigan. Konti lang naman ang nakakarating dahil nasa pandemic tayo. Pero hindi naman tayo umaasa lang sa canned food kasi meron tayong nakakain na gulay, no? And ang ginawa natin, hinikayat natin ang lahat ng mga mamamayan na may mga plots of land, meron nga tayong ordinansa na kapag may idle land ka, tapos ginawa mo siyang farm, ay hindi mo na kailangan magbayad ng idle land tax. No? So, ngayon, we have several hundred urban farms already here in Quezon City. And the beautiful thing about it is we have a program also. It's all connected dito sa Quezon City. I try to connect everything. So we also have a healthy food procurement program. Yeah. This is because we are a member of a international a network of countries called the C40, which is a aggregation of countries that are champions for climate change or climate justice. So we are a signatory for healthy food procurement. So meron kaming EO na no public funds as much as possible should be spent on unhealthy food. So ang ginawa namin, since may mga gulayan na kami, kapag kailangan namin mag-feeding program, kinukuha na rin namin yung gulay dun sa mga gulayan namin. Tapos ang nangyayari, yung mga urban farmers namin, sila rin yung kumikita. Diba? So para siyang circular economy na. It helps achieve your objectives of healthy food for our people. At the same time, you're giving jobs. At the same time, people are self-sustaining at hindi rin tayo gumagastos ng napakalaking halaga dahil galing sa sarili nating bakulan yung gulay na tinatanim natin.
Okay, Mayor. Next naman, from healthy food. Sa sports naman, Mayor. Yes, ito malapit sa puso ko, being a former athlete. Okay. So, yung sa sports program naman po ng QC, Mayor, understand yung decades-old Amaranto Stadium is finally getting a facelift.
Yes, we're working on that now because I think it's an underutilized asset of the city, and everybody knows Amaranto, but actually, ang hindi nila alam, hindi siya global standard na sports facility. Yung oval niya, kulang siya sa laki. No? Tapos, yung swimming pool niya, hindi siya Olympic size. So, ang daming kulang. So, what we decided is if we're going to be a globally renowned city, kailangan meron din tayong sports facility na pwedeng gamitin para sa mga international competition.
Yes.
So, we have decided to invest in renovating the Amoranto
Is this the
sports
first
complex.
renovation, the Amoranto will?
Yes, well, the previous administration started to build an arena there,
Okay.
but it was never finished. Yeah, so we will try to finish it. We'll try to see why it was never finished. Then they tried to build an Olympic pool, but it was never finished. So we're trying to salvage what we can from the efforts of the previous administration. Pero right now, we've already started renovating some aspects of the Amoranto sports facility.
What other landmarks of Quezon City po, Mayor, yung mga i-renovate pa, ayusin, pagagandahin?
We heard the Quezon Memorial Circle.
Yeah, you know, we have this grand plan. You know, in New York, where you have this High Line, yung mga railroad tracks, ginawang park. So parang may plan kami na i-connect yung Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife sa Quezon Memorial Circle through a park na overhead. No? So yan ang isa sa mga plans namin. No? Actually, may mga designs na.
That's great.
Yeah, naganda kasi
Wow.
yung QMC, many people say, medyo commercialized siya. No? Ang dami masyadong nangyayari dyan. Whereas yung Ninoy Aquino Parks, it's very pristine naman. No? So, by connecting both, you can have, well, if you want to eat, or you want your children to bike, or to, you know, to have activities, may concert, etc. Pwede ka sa circle, may shopping ka pa ng gulay, tsaka ng mga halaman. Pero kung gusto mo talaga pristine, talagang nature lang, you can just cross very easily to the Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife.
Pero I
And,
think kailangan din talaga yung wildlife, kailangan din talaga ng renovation or ano pa, improvement pa.
yeah,
Or do
unfortunately,
you have plan for that?
that's not owned by the city government kasi.
Oh, that's right.
That's owned by the DENR.
Okay.
So are
Yeah.
your plans, Mayor, to
When I was the
Oh,
vice,
coordination.
yeah, when I was the vice mayor,
Since wildlife is in Quezon City.
yeah nga when I was the vice mayor, and this wait off the record kasi, and you have to check Ari if this is true. But actually, the Quezon City Parks and Wildlife, allegedly, I was told that you have to check because you're the journalist. Napunta sa DNR, nung DNR secretary si Mike. So, pwede mo siyang i-check kung totoo yun.
Actually, he's talking about it. Siguro yun na lang, konektado yun na gano'n. He's talking about it, the wildlife improvement.
Because actually, the city now cannot improve on it without, of course, the cooperation of the DNR. Now, when I was the vice mayor, yung head ng Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife, sayang kasi ang dami na namin talks because the Singapore Zoo wanted to invest in the Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife by building a mini zoo of endemic species. No, parang yung Singapore Night Zoo na walang cages, 'di ba? Pero parang nagro-roam lang yung mga animals. Yun yung plano nila. Tapos may local investors na. And we had so many talks with the Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife during that time when I was the vice. Pero hindi natuloy, hindi siya natupad. No? Hanggang sa ngayon, parang mas cooperative yung Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife, kaya very open sila to having a connecting bridge. Pero yung original investors naman of the zoo sana, ayaw na nila. So, hopefully, we can come up, now na wala ng pandemic na pinag-iisipan, hopefully we can come up with something.
Push for it.
I will push for
You
it.
really want to realize it.
Of course, because it's right in the middle of the
Just
city.
in your mind, but you really want to realize it.
Yes,
Under your-
because it's in the city. It's underutilized as well. You know, because very few people naman talaga want to go to a park where there's just nothing. They want to do things in the park, you know. So, marami pa rin pwedeng
And that will
invest.
That's good
that will
story.
boost not just the local economy, but also yung tourism ng city.
Yes.
Na,
Although there are certain laws that are governing
Yes,
the Ninoy
yes.
Aquino.
yeah. So, Mayor, dahil alam namin busy ka pa sa iyong campaign at hinihintay ka ng iyong mga taga-suporta, may we just ask your parting words to your constituents?
Well, sa lahat ng aking mga constituents sa Quezon City, ako ay umaasa na batay sa aking mga nagawa sa nakaraang 3 taon, ay mabigyan nila muli ako ng pagkakataon maglingkod bilang kanilang leader sapagkat marami pa tayong pwedeng gawin at may mga plano pa tayong hindi pa naisakatuparan at tingin ko napatunayan ko naman na kayang-kaya ko yung trabaho na maging mayor ng lungsod natin. So sana ay bigyan nila ako ng isa pang chance.